The 108th Nebraska Legislature is currently in session. During this legislative session, there are numerous bills and amendments being discussed that may be of interest to ag producers. These measures address concerns around ag lease termination deadlines, amendments to the Right to Farm Act, and the ag weather station funding in Nebraska. First, LB 591, which is the unwritten agricultural lease termination notice deadline. Currently, Nebraska court cases indicate that oral or unwritten leases of cropland can be terminated by 6 months' notice prior to the beginning of the next lease year. LB 591 would change the deadline from September 1st to January 1st, reducing the lease termination notice from 6 months to just 3.
If you have a handshake lease, agricultural lease, then the deadline to terminate the lease is September 1st. And if the lease isn't terminated, then it starts on the subsequent March 1st. And the 591, it would change the date of the termination deadline from September 1st to January 1st. The disadvantage of that proposal is that the rule that we have now would be gives the tenant 6 months. So everybody has, 6 months to make new arrangements if new arrangements need to be made. And I just last night downloaded the public hearing testimony for 591 and noticed that all the major ag groups testified against the bill. I didn't see the stock growers in there, but corn growers, Farm Bureau, Farmers Union, so on, all testified against it. They said it's too big a change. It's kind of the things, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And finally, the Nebraska Mesonet system has endured some funding challenges. The Mesonet system is a real-time statewide weather station network with operating systems at about half of the counties in Nebraska. LB 401 seeks to mitigate those difficulties and reinforce the Mesonet system by providing funding to ensure there's at least one in each county in order to provide greater and more accurate coverage.
Nebraska was, I believe, the very first state to establish a Mesonet system. Now, the states that have, sort of copied Nebraska's system have really enhanced those systems so that they provide a lot more services. There are system enhancements that could be needed that could be very useful. The Mesonet system up to now has pretty much been funded by the university because of the budget crunches at the university. I believe 7 stations were closed last year, and another 10 are kind of on the chopping block. But the university, I think, probably needs some help in terms of keeping these systems up and running. And so the bill that was proposed was to provide state funding through the Department of Natural Resources to help pick up some of the expense of maintaining the Mesonet systems.